Hi guys, my name is Libo. I'd like to have a small record list for the books I've read this year and also practice my spoken English. So there are 5 favorite books from the different categories. Number 5, Positioning, The Battlefield Mind by Aris and Jack Trout. It was written 30 years ago, called as Third Productivity Revolution Brand Positioning. So it's not only predict the business models and the marketing behaviors, most of them happened we see today. It's also predict a society of over-communication, that everyone is surrounded by the information, trapped in their information bubbles. Well, today's scheming ads via the payment and running a promotion by default are becoming the common sense. There's a data from the book, like advertising spending per person increased 8 times in the last 2 decades of the 20th century. In China, in the last 2 decades, it increased 10 times. So it's very cruel, but it's the truth. The core idea of this book, Positioning, is better for the user's mind, which reminds me of a character of Demon Slayer, Zangief. His sword style is basically one action, one skill, but he practiced it to the extreme. That's awesome. It's a quote from book. So in a communication junk out there, the only hope to score big is to be selective, to concentrate on narrow targets, to practice segmentation just like Zangief did. In a word, positioning. So there are 3 paths we can reach them. First one, long-term leadership, like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has around 140 years history, so it's very long-term. Second, filling an empty position. If you want to beat the cola, so you could be the 7-Up, the young cola. Third, redefining your competitors. There's an advertisement in the book described like aspirin could irritate the stomach lining, but fortunately there's a Tylenol. Interesting. So I think this is one of the best entry-level marketing books I've written. I'd like to strongly recommend it to you. Number 4, Illustration of Dunhuang Cave 254 by Chen Haitang. Before I visited Mogao Caves, I read several books of Dunhuang art. This is Cave 254, and this book is small but extremely ingenious. There are 2 mirrors I'd like to share to you. The Prince Seta sacrificed himself, feed the tiger, and King Shipi cut his flesh to save the dove. It described a concept of momentum from the art method showing different moments in time within one image, one single image. And also there's a picture or a scene from the wall, from the mirrors. Looks like the Prince Seta leaping toward his death from the cliff. Well, and his enlightenment afterward. Technically, they are just 2 separate events, but the painter, how ingenious one, cross them, connect them through their gates, because this picture has no boundaries. So you can imagine that a limited picture, a complete story, no boundaries, and infinite reflections. So I think this book could stand for the Dunhuang art, which combines the Chinese concept of time with the Buddhist idea of causality and rebirth. Number 3, Elon Musk. I've heard of Elon Musk for years, and this book was written by the Walter Isaacson, also reviewed by the Musk himself. So I think that this book has a little bit one-sided. I mainly focus on his early rise of his entrepreneur, how can he be an entrepreneur, and the scheme that Twitter was something else. Musk reminds me of Steve Jobs. They both don't like following the rules. Instead, they question them, they challenge them, they asking others to follow them. And they both driven by a strong sense of mission. Like Musk is colonizing Mars to drive a proactive technological progress, preserve human consciousness, and sustain the explorer spirit that built America. How marvelous. Number 2, My Altay. When I want to have a rest, have a peaceful moment, I read Altay and some of other books by Li Zhen. Her writing is very quiet and powerful. She doesn't try to move you emotionally, but instead, she does in subtle and funny ways. Reading her books feels like sitting still. It's perfect to read Li Zhen before or during a trip. If you want to go Xinjiang, especially north of Xinjiang, Altay. Also, I guess there's a movie adaptation. The same song feels like coming home, not excitement, just peace and comfort. Number 1, Educated. It's not about identity, it's about a story of perspectives. Well, I read Educated very differently. We have a group of friends. Each person read a few paragraphs, and after we translate them or share their thoughts. Beyond Tara's talents and efforts, I think the luck also played a huge role in her life. Maybe we can't choose when luck comes, but we can choose where opportunities are more likely or the opportunities come more often. Education is one such place, great place. If I want to summarize a sentence for this book, I'd like to use the quote from Tara herself from an interview. Education means access to different perspectives. Become educated, but don't let your education petrify into arrogance. The Chinese side of this book is also very interesting. Flee like a bird to a mountain. It's from Bible. So it wasn't Tara's first choice. And it's very different from the other nations' version. Like, they're all like the education, something else. But to the Chinese way, it's just too naughty, like a teacher. But she listened. After our Chinese translator struggled with it for a while, and she accepted the questions. I think that is the education itself means. Listening and accepting questions and respect the different cultural perspectives. There are 5 free books I'd like to share. Before I end this video, I found one more thought based on these 5 books. Even though they are very different from the art, from literature, from technology, or religion, somehow they all ask me to slow down to listen to the ideas, history, to people with harsh views, and question what I thought I already understood. Question, should it be accepted? Afterwards, respect different perspectives and answers that don't have to be mine. Maybe reading is about becoming less certain, maybe it is becoming more careful, more open. I hope I can read many more interesting books in the new year. Thanks for watching. See you next time.